The first book on my summer reads list is actually a book I mentioned in a previous video. It is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. It is actually the story of Mare Barrow and her friends and family. She's of red blood and they go against the Silvers. A lot of people have read this and I've heard a lot of good comments about this series. It's the first book in a series. The other books are Glass Sword, King's Throne, and Warstorm. And I do want to get a hold of the other copies of them. I'm actually doing a buddy read for this right now this month, which is July. I'm actually starting a buddy read of this with a friend, and I'm actually listening to Glass Sword on an audiobook through the library. And I'm actually going to have to borrow it because I haven't gotten a chance to finish it. I had like 3.5 hours left and I didn't get to finish it in time, so I have to go back in and re-borrow it. Go fig. But I am liking the books both. I did have a hard time reading Red Queen the first time around, so I'm giving it another chance. Maybe now that I've listened to the audiobook, I'll understand it better. I'm sure if I get stuck again, I can always borrow the audiobook version and just listen along and just follow along with the book. But the next book I have on my summer TBR list is actually I Was Anastasia by Ariel Lawhon. This is the story of Anna Anderson. She was a woman who did exist. This is historical fiction. And she, until the day she died, truly believed that she was the lost Grand Duchess Anastasia Nikolaeva Romanov. And I love historical fiction. That is my #1 go-to right now. I love anything to do with the Romanov dynasty and the Tudor period. But this, I actually am really interested in getting into this book. I'm already on the first chapter of it. And I am flip-flopping between my summer reads books. When I get to break up the monotony of one book, I'll flip to the next one just to read a chapter. Just to break up the speed a little bit. This way my mind doesn't get bored and I don't get a reading slump. But this book I actually have or had a copy of on tape of a movie called Anastasia, the Mystery of Anna, starring Amy Irving, Omar Sharif, Rex Harrison, and Olivia de Havilland, and even Susan Lucci's in that. And that was Anna Anderson's story that they told in a TV miniseries. It was interesting, but the book is definitely more in-depth. You're seeing her side. It goes through her story in current time and also back in the memories of Anastasia, as to the historical events that took place and when they took place. And it is a very interesting read, and I'm definitely going to enjoy reading that a lot. I did find that at a local church sale about a year ago, and I've been wanting to read it. So this will be the perfect time to start reading it, is this summer. The next book I have to read is actually the second book in the Miss Peregrine series. It's called Hollow City by Ransom Riggs, and this picks up right where Miss Peregrine left off. It's still September 3rd, 1940 for the kids. It always will be. But now they're in London, and this London is like the hub of where all the peculiars are. But they have a few issues. The first one is Miss Peregrine is still trapped in the form of a bird, so they're trying to find a cure for that. Then there are the demons / like the hollows are still trying to find them. So Jacob, who is our main character, he's trying to not only protect the peculiars, but he's also trying to find a way of figuring out his love for Emma and how that's going to work out, because he's not trapped. He was never trapped into that world, in the loop he was born in the normal world, but because he is a peculiar, he fits in with them, and he chose to stay with the kids, so now he will age, but they never will. And that's going to be the battle. His lifelong battle is, and probably throughout the series, is how they're going to relate to him aging and going through their journey when the other peculiar kids will never age. It is definitely a good book. I started to get into chapter 1 not too long ago, but I did stop to switch books when I started getting like a mini funk. But it is a good series. I can't wait to follow along. The photographs that are in the story are really good. They're not only the author's personal photos that he has found, but also photos that people have given him or let him borrow for the book's purposes, to show you that the peculiars were real. They're actual photos. They're not photoshopped or messed around with. It was the photos in their actual form, whether from double exposure or who knows what. But the last book I have on my list is actually a book that my fiance got me a while ago. It is called Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. And this one I really wanted to get a hold of. I have heard mixed reviews on this book, both on BookTube and on Bookstagram, and on Goodreads as well. Some people love it, some people hate it. It just depends on your reading style and whether or not it's your typical cup of tea as far as reading goes. But this is about, and it takes place at Yale University, and Alex is our main character. And when the story starts, she's actually in the hospital. She got into some trouble with her ex-boyfriends who were involved in drugs, and she was running around with the wrong crowd, and she's now in the hospital. And the head of Yale University comes to her and offers her a full ride for her to come to the school on one condition. She has to basically spy on the secret societies and report to him what's going on, what their activities are, who's involved in the groups, because there have been some suspicious murders happening, and they want to know what's going on, what each of the societies is about, what they're up to. And that's Alex's journey throughout this story, besides her own past and trying to come to terms with different things. I have heard of Leigh Bardugo through the BookTube community. A lot of booktubers do have a lot of her other books. I am curious to see if I will like her style of writing, and if I do, I will definitely look into getting some more of her books. I do have a few of her other books listed on my to-get list, which is an extremely long list right now. I'm not kidding, I did say it in a previous video that I have over 280 books that I would like to get. That doesn't mean I'm going to get them. I would like to get them. But my TBR pile in general is huge. It would, if I stacked all the books up, it might come as high as I am sitting on the floor. So that's why I'm just doing like a mini summer TBR list instead, make it easier on me. But I am switching between books, like I said before. If I get stuck on one, or if I'm starting to have a hard time understanding it, I'll switch to a different book. That way I'm not so confused or getting frustrated. But that is my summer TBR. I only have 4 books on here, 4 physical copies to read. Hopefully I can read them throughout the summer and end of August. If it takes me longer to read them, then it takes me longer. I'm just going at my pace. I'm not going at anyone else's pace. Like, some people I know can read 3 books in 1 week, and I don't know how they can do it. It might be because they're audiobooks, I don't know, or they're just like speed readers. But I know my personal reading speed is slower because I do have the reading comprehension problem, where I don't always understand what I'm reading. or like there's like big words that are used and I don't understand. I have to go and look them up, and it takes me a while to follow the story through. But I will eventually finish reading them. It just might take me a while to do it, or it might take me a second or third try to fully understand the stories. But I will definitely update you guys on my reviews of the books that I've read throughout the summer, whether that's like at the end of August or even in the fall. But I do have one buddy read right now going on, and I already have one planned for the future. It's just trying to get the timing down between the two of us as to when we're able to start reading another book. But until next time, have fun reading, stay safe, and enjoy the world of fantasy.